Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
There's your long ball. Stretch. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Mount Rushmore. Yes, Mount Rushmore. We're still here, been here all week. Guess what, folks? Fantastic place over here in South Dakota. If you've never been here, check it out. Today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts given to people they don't understand, plus a whole lot more. For more information, contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305, or check them out online at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. And a big welcome to everybody watching us on hotel television in 650,000 rooms from coast to coast. Listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, even in Las Vegas, Magic 97.9 FM, plus a whole bunch of others, including YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, as well as Facebook and Twitter and everything else. All right, a big welcome in to two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole. And there he is. Tyrone looking all nice and dapper. Oh, by the way, hey, Tyrone, have you seen my hat today?
Sir.
It looks like I'm working that thing.
You working that thing, because you know what? We're going to have to contact Legal Shield ourselves, because you know when you work that thing, you put yourself out there for a lot of attacks when you're working that thing. So Legal Shield, we may be calling you pretty soon. But what's going on, Sam?
Oh, man, another great day. And guess what? We have another great guest. In fact, let's just let him introduce himself.
Yes.
Well, I have no idea how to really introduce myself. I am Dewey McClain, former Atlanta Falcon. I'm the former president of the Atlanta chapter of Pro Football Players, past chairman of the board of all Pro Football Players, and I'm a state representative for the state of Georgia. So I have no idea how to really introduce myself other than just to say that, hey, I'm just glad to be on the show with you two today, and wherever we go, I can go.
All right, Dewey. It looks like you're kind of comfortable in your own little utopia over there. I think you were saying something about before we started. You always wanted your own little place like this, and looks like you got it.
Yes, as you can see behind me, that's a big M behind me for the pavilion. That's kind of like the McClain Pavilion. So you're outside, you're enjoying yourself. You're in Georgia, and COVID is not coming out here.
Right. It's not coming out there. All right. Hey, I'll tell you what, guys, let's get right into it, because I want to ask you a couple questions, but I want to kind of preface this with an article that I had read recently. So kind of hang in there with me. It's a little long-winded, but I'm going to have some questions for you now. The director of athletic medicine at Penn State had said, quote, 1/3 of COVID-19 positive Big Ten athletes have myocarditis, close quote. Now, Wayne Sebastianelli delivered the information during a state college area board of school directors meeting just a couple of days ago that was reported on by Center Daily Times. The data underscores Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren's open letter explaining why the conference postponed its fall season. Now, Sebastianelli had called the level of inflammation in the studies alarming. Now, also, he says linking COVID-19 and myocarditis, an inflammation, of course, of the heart muscles that reduce the heart's ability to pump blood. It can be fatal if not addressed. It is the third leading cause of sudden deaths in young people, per the Mayo Clinic cardiologist Dr. Michael Ackerman. Now, Ackerman said in a recent interview, quote, when we looked at our COVID-19 positive athletes, whether they were symptomatic or not, 30 to roughly 35% of their heart muscles were inflamed. Also, and they really just don't know what to do right now. And it's still very early in the infection, according to Mr. Ackerman. And some of that has led to the Pac-12, of course, and the Big 12 decision not to start the fall season, unlike the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. So continuing on, now, you could have a variety, there's a quote, you could have a very high-level athlete who's got a superior VO2 max and cardiac outpatient who gets this infection and can drop his VO2 max all the way down to 10%. Basically, the performance drops from where it was at 100% down to 10%. That's really what the gist of this is. But the thing is, they're still learning about it. And what I want to know is whether a first-year commissioner, whether it's the Big Ten or whether it's the Pac-12, it doesn't really matter. What my curiosity is look, Dewey, being on the governmental side of things in the Georgia House of Representatives, also being a part of the NFLPA and a former player in the NFL and the USFL, I want to know, what does this mean from the safety standpoint of the student athletes that they have chose in the Big Ten and Pac-12 not to play and more of a wait and see versus the SEC, ACC, and Big 12?
Those are good. I like that. The reason I like it is because, you came at it at different angles. You've got one commissioner saying, I want to wait and see, because, again, it's some people are on that, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then you have another group that will say, well, I'd rather say that I'm sorry than think about safe. I think, what I try to tell folks in Georgia and around is that scientists and data should play a role in that. I mean, as a football player, I know that it would have hurt me not to play a game if I felt I could play. But if I felt that, and if I felt I could play at 10%, I thought I still could play better than some of those folks who played at 100%. So that's what got a lot of us back out, because I'll never get the owner coming and do it. You at 20% are better than some of those players at 150%. And I don't know if it was a messing with my ego or messing with what my psychic. But all I'm saying to what we're trying to go at is the scientists and the doctors and data has to we have to prove it. And I think that only time will tell. They say hindsight is 20/20. So. We will tell in the next, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks or so, once football start, who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, I think really about player safety, my biggest concern, Dewey, is that you have some people that will say, all right, kids, you go ahead and sign away whatever so you can indemnify the schools. And I talked a little bit about this yesterday. You can indemnify all the powers that be, and you're old enough to sign a contract. You're old enough to vote for your officials. You're old enough to fight for your country. But at some point, you take that inexperience level in life and you say, wait a minute, son or daughter, playing professionals or playing collegiate sports, whatever. I guess in some conferences it almost is professional, right? But the bigger question lies, is their lack of life experience a part of that decision process that maybe they should get some, being the athletes, maybe they should get some additional input from people that have been on the rodeo a little bit longer?
What I say to you is that, it's, in the moment, you got a 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old just says, okay, do you want to play? Sure. I think you can play, but what about the consequences? And I think that's what a lot of folks are not thinking about, the consequences. The consequences mean a lot. We talked about asymptomatic and COVID, but then you look at, you may be asymptomatic, but then you're gonna come home and visit me as your mama and daddy, and me as your grandparent and your grandmama and your great grandmama. So, but you're bringing that stuff to us. So you got to look at protection, and what we've got to try to look at is safely getting our young athletes back to participating in playing safely. We got to have a plan, and right now I just don't think we have a plan.
Yeah, and you mentioning playing. And again, Dewey, thank you for coming on the Sports Circus. You're number 52 on the roster, but you're number 1 in the hearts of the Sports Circus. Number 1. Now, if you had a son playing right now, or yourself, if you were playing in college right now, or the pros, would you play?
That's a real hard question. That's a hard question. Because Trevor, I played back in the 70s, and in fact, I tell folks, I played pro football because I just wanted to play pro football. It wasn't any money when we played. I made $17,000 my rookie year. So all I'm saying to you is, back then, what I played, yes, I think I would. But today, what I have played, I think I would think about it, and I would ask the scientists and the data and doctors, what are the chances? So it's a 50-50. But if I had a child at this time, I would, my grandson is in the band, and I said to him, I said, Grandpa want to see you in the band, but I do want to see you living. So all I'm saying to you is that I don't have enough information to share with you, and I don't think no one has enough data to make that decision.
Well, that's, again, my son is playing. He's at Walton High School in Marietta, and he's 14 years old. And it's kind of like you said, it's kind of like you don't have enough data on it. So it's kind of like the first wave go through, and then we'll see what sticks to the wall, and then we'll try to go and build off of that and make it better. So I agree 100%. Somebody has to go out there and see. But if you keep yourself healthy, everybody follow protocols, then we do have an opportunity to limit the effects. There are going to be some that are going to get sick, some that are not. But you know what? We're going to be back with more Sports Circus with number 52, Dewey McClain. But he's number 1 in our hearts. We'll see you when we return on the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford.
Really?
He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. His own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
This is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Didn't you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? That was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby, and let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone? Come on, man!
All right, you know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. How's that, man?
That's
Is that okay? Is that good enough?
That's incredible. That's fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes! Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music.
Hello, Jack McDowell here, Black Jack McDowell, and you're watching the Sports Circus, which is totally cool. So you have a great time watching. Have some fun.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from the AMP TV mobile studio here in Mount Rushmore. Well, actually, we're not in Mount Rushmore. We're adjacent to Mount Rushmore. Thanks for everybody joining us. All right, this segment is brought to you by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk shows. Cali Vegas can help with everything they need to get us sitting in hours of traffic every day or sitting at home trying to figure out what the next move is and host their very own talk show in their very own home studio. For more information, contact Cali Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them online for more information at CaliVegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And a big welcome back to everybody watching on hotel television in 650,000 rooms from coast to coast. Those watching on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, and also at thesportscircus.com and AMP TV. Big welcome back to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM over in Las Vegas and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from Honolulu to Boston, all the way down to our friends down in Atlanta at WDJY and everywhere else around the country. Back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole. And there he is. Hey. I like that. I like that at the bottom of your shirt. I like the way you button that, and you got the color there with the blue. I like that, man. That's good stuff. Oh, by the way, Tyrone, I am representing. What am I wearing right here?
You work that thing. You working that thing. That's why we need to go with Cali Vegas. If you think Cali Vegas can help us work that thing, can Cali Vegas help us? Well, we need to get in touch with
What is work that thing?
Work that thing. It's about putting forth your best effort. Everything you do, whether you're trying to be successful in corporate America, you're trying to be an A student, you're trying to be a great athlete, you're just trying to be a great person. You got to work that thing. And work that thing means that a lot of things going to try to hinder you, but you got to overcome them because you know what? Success, hear me strong on here, success in anything does not go on sale. So you got to work that thing if you want to be good.
I love that. Success doesn't go on sale. Hey, there's a guy that's with us that knows a little bit about success, and we know certainly that it does not go on sale. That would be Dewey McClain, big number 52. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all for having me.
All right. Hey, listen. Oh, by the way, folks, Dewey, Georgia House of Representatives, involved with the NFLPA on the presidential side. NFL, Atlanta Falcons, and USFL. This guy's done it all. And by the way, he's got himself his own pavilion, too.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You know,
working that thing.
All the miles and all the information.
Tyrone talking about how to work that thing. I know how to work that thing.
That's it. That's why he's sitting by the pavilion, because he worked that thing. And working that thing allowed him to sit in the pavilion in the cool shade. All we missing now is the tea, the iced tea with the lemon. Where is it? Where's the iced tea and the lemon? Oh, don't tell me.
There it is.
Work that thing.
Hey, everybody who listened, they couldn't see it. They couldn't see it, all those who listened, but Dewey held up his
I told you. That's it. Work that thing.
Okay, so, hey, Dewey, listen. In the last segment, we're talking a little bit about the Power Five, right? So we got the SEC, the ACC, and we got the Big 12. They're all playing football. We're talking about the possibility of the players contracting an illness and then having a heart problem, which, really, I mean, it could take the players out. Plain and simple, it could take the players out, right? And they found that 30 to 35% of those players in the Big Ten that were tested, Penn State did a study on this, they had this heart problem, if you will. Just keep it nice and simple. So Tyrone had mentioned something about sitting back and waiting and watching, that he'd want to say it. He'd want to wait for more data to come out. And you said the same thing. But let me ask you this. When we think about a school's decision of sitting out their players. We think about a whole conference, and we think about another conference, and then we take a look at the NFL. And the NFL says, and this is what I got out of it. You guys can question me on this if you want or whatever. Look, there was a very, very clear statement that the NFL says we're going to put money over health. We are playing. Period. This is what I got out of it. Now, I'm not a former player like you two. I played baseball in my life. But I want to know, Dewey, what's your thought about money versus safety or the potential lack thereof?
Sam, I think it's a 50-50 deal. They looked at economics, and that's what the ACC and the SEC and the Big 12 did. It's kind of like football carries 80%. Some people say it's 90% of all sports on all colleges. So, but then you look at the NFL, well, then you got to realize one or two things. And, and Tyrone knows and I know that the life expectancy of pro football players is only 2.3 years. So if I lay out a year, I'm going a year, and then the next year is going to happen, and it's going to keep going in a circle. So what I think the NFL did, they tried to play both ends. They tried to say, well, we're not going to put anybody in the stands. We're going to lose that. We're going to lose that economic part of what we do in pro football, but we want to play the game because TV contracts out there, and the TV contracts are what pays 50 to 60% of what the owners make. So the money is there. I hear you with the money, but they do have to have safety because if they got a bad product, it's not going. No one's going to watch a bad product. So, and the players know that as well. So, and I think that's why they're all saying what they're saying about being tested and realizing that they got to wash their hands more and they got to wear a mask when they have to. So, I just think that you got two separate. If I don't make money, I may not be able to pay my rent. But I'm on the college, on the other hand, I'm not really making any money, and I'm not paying any rent. So they're different, Sam. They're different.
Okay. All right. Tyrone, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm glad you did, Dewey. You mentioned the fact that there are no fans in the stands. Okay. Now, with all of the concerns that we have going on around this country, since the NFL only have one, kind of call it one leg. They got one leg. With the fans in the stands, that's the other leg. But right now, they got one injured leg. They now only have television. So if because I always believe the fans really have more say-so than really they're led to believe. So if the fans said right now, they're going to turn off the television. Back in last year, people said they're going to turn the TV off because they're trying to make a statement. If they turn off the television now, because there are no fans in the stands, so the NFL can't make money like that. If they turn off the TVs now, do you think that would get the NFL to make some changes? I guess, let's say this Rooney Rule, to kind of get some more changing with that.
So now you don't want to hire black coaches now. Now you want to hire black coaches and black administrators? That's a different thing. What I'm saying to you is that the leg that they're using, the NFL is using right now, is the TV leg. They're not using the fan leg. They're not using selling the hot dogs. They're not using the parking leg. They're not using. Because it's a domino effect. When I say it's a domino effect, no one's flying into Atlanta or Baltimore to watch a team play. The cabs are not making any money. The hotels are not making any money. So, but are the NFL owners concerned about those hotels? They are, but they're really not. What they're concerned about is their product. Their product being pro football players. And what I'm saying to you all is I want you all to understand that some pro players are saying, I'm not going to play. And that's understood because they can say that. But then you've got younger ball players saying, I'm going to play because I only got so long to make this amount of money. But that's a pro level. But on a high school level and a college level, I don't know what you're playing for because you definitely you're not playing for money. You're playing for the future.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Dewey, and this is going to go back to maybe the administrative side, maybe the business side. But recently in Georgia, there was a bill passed, which basically holds businesses and whatnot harmless. This is a very difficult conversation here. I want you to take 1 minute, tell everybody about it and how it affects the workplace and how it may affect schools and administrations.
Sam, thank you. I mean, it is probably one of the worst things I ever saw done in any state or any policy making. SB 359, what it allowed to do, it allowed companies, corporations, schools, whatever, to be immune for the next 2 or 3 years if you catch COVID. If COVID is contacted at your facility or in your building or whatever you think, you cannot sue them. And I just think that's wrong. That's wrong for you to if you fail to make sure that you had hand washing stations or if you fail to make mask requirements mandatory or whatever, but if you caught COVID and you didn't do those things, you are still immune. And I just think that it's so wrong that instead of us protecting people if they were to get sick, that we're protecting a building. So I want people to realize that the lawyers understood it, the people understood it to try to get economics open, because no builder want to be held liable, no corporation want to be held liable and being able to be sued. But I understand the economic part of it, but you still got to try to understand the workers part of it.
Right. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with Dewey McClain and Tyrone Poole in just a few minutes on the circus. I want to pick up on this conversation when we come back. There's a lot to unpack there, Dewey. You can stick around with us, can't you, for another segment? Excellent. Folks, back here in a few minutes on the circus. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come with these two guys.
Yes.
Could you use a little extra money right now? If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you could use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. That's 800-335-1376. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your creditworthiness in connection with your application for credit. Attention businesses of all sizes affected by COVID-19. The federal government has introduced the Employee Retention Credit. It's a new relief program that allows you to collect up to $26,000 per employee. If your business was forced to close due to COVID-19, or you lost 20% or more of your sales, you may qualify for free financial relief. There's no limit to the amount you can file for, and you don't have to pay the money back. Call Park Settlement now. They'll explain to you how much you qualify for and how fast the funds can be in your business bank account. To find out if you qualify for the ERC program, call Park Settlement right now for details. There's no upfront cost to you, and you could receive up to $26,000 per employee. Call right now for details. 800-509-1238. 800-509-1238. 800-509-1238. That's 800-509-1238.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
This is Dwayne Clemens, former Bengals, Chiefs, and Viking, and you're watching the Sports Circus.
Don't you just love that beat? That lets you know you're in the circus. And we want to welcome you back to the Sports Circus. We want to welcome everybody who's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, at AAMP.TV. We also want to thank those who are listening to us in Las Vegas, 97.9. Las Vegas, the city that never sleeps. This segment is brought to you in part by the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. At the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, we believe in the foundation of the family. We believe whether the mother and father are together or not, that the family institution is the building block of the future. That's why the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, we do events like father and son, father and daughter, mother and son, mother and daughter, because if we can come together, then we can have a brighter future. If you want to know more about the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, just go to TyronePoole38Foundation.org. You can get information or you can donate. Again, that's Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.O to the R to the G. Again, we have having a great time today. We have no other than Dewey McClain. Dewey is a former NFL professional football player, Georgia state representative. Man, he's number 52 on the roster. Man, what's your seating? What's your seating in the Capitol, Dewey? What number? They give you a number? What's your number?
That's one of the things about it. I sit in C67, and it's one of the things is I sit about 6 rows back. So I get a chance to look at the speaker every day. And the funny thing about it, the speaker get a chance to look at me every day. And I've been very fortunate to have the same seat all 6 years that I've been in the House. All 7 years I've been in the House, rather. Which, time goes so fast. I can't believe I was elected in 2013 and just got and we'll be reelected in 2018.
Wow. Big round of applause for Dewey.
When we left, we were talking about the House Bill 359.
No, Senate Bill, SB. I want to get this straight. Senate Bill 359.
SB 359. Now, I'm going to give it a new name. I'm going to call it Mulligan. In golf, they give you a mulligan so you can mess up. So I'm going to call it Mulligan 359. So, because basically that's what they're doing. They're giving all these companies and institutions a mulligan. Hey, if you mess up, whatever, you're not going to be held responsible. So in golf, if I mess up and fall or tell everybody get out the way, I slice the ball, you know what? It doesn't matter because I get a do-over. So again, I know Sal want to jump more deeper into this SB 359. So Sal, he loves stuff like this. Go ahead, Sal.
Sam, SB 3, he says it's a mulligan. It's not a mulligan. This is unlimited mulligans. I want you to know that it's not one mulligan, Tyrone. This is unlimited mulligans. This is like if I hit another shot bad, I get a do-over. And then if I hit another shot bad, I get a do-over for 2 years. But that's the point. I get do-over for 2 years.
A mulligan means it don't count. It don't count. You can mess up.
But what I'm saying is unlimited mulligans. I want you to know there's a difference between unlimited mulligans other than one mulligan. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what this reminds me of now, both of you guys have probably seen the movie Casino, right? Yep.
Yes. I have.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you. Here's your unlimited mulligans. It's when Joe Pesci, who plays the character of Tony Spilotro, is in the casino, and he calls for Sam Rothstein to give him a marker. And every time he's trying to make his hand, and they keep throwing him 10s. Here's another paint. Here's another paint. And you could beep, whatever with this one. There's your unlimited mulligans. I mean, to me, that's probably the perfect analogy. But the bigger problem that I have with this is now you're saying schools, buildings, whatever it is, the state of Georgia says, well, guess what? You're all exempt, and we're not going to have all those owners or whatever, those building owners. There's no liability there. There's got to be something that could break that indemnity somewhere, Mr. McClain. There's got to be something. I don't know what that looks like, but legally standing, I tell you as a law graduate myself, there's got to be something that could break this.
Well, let me just say this. As we all talked about this, it was just we tried all several ways to break this, to say that this is wrong. But now, only thing that can break this is negligence, and you know that. I mean, you're a law, so negligent. So if I didn't didn't put out masks, if I didn't put out no sanitizer, if I didn't do anything, and if I was negligent, then that was the only thing that 359 SB 359 allowed was negligence. So.
Well, the one thing
that helps you.
I look at it this way, and let's just say you're in a border town somewhere in Georgia, right? Here, let's just go to like Columbus, Georgia, right? It's pretty close to the Alabama border, all right? Mm-hmm. And so, how many people that live in Alabama, they commute to Georgia every day to go to work, for example? Right? I mean, Tyrone, you're from this area for the most part, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, hey, look, real close is that Bama line. Now, what if you live over in Opelika, or what if you live over in Auburn? All right, and those people work 30 miles away over at Columbus. How does this affect as they go across state lines?
Well, it affects them because they're going across state line. It's the company. Now, it's only in Georgia. So by them coming to Georgia to work in Company A or Company B, Company A and Company B has immunity, not the people going back to Alabama. The people don't have anything. It's the company. It's where the company is located. That was my biggest concern. That was my problem.
Right. But see, look at it this way. So let's just say hypothetically something bad happens over in Columbus, Georgia. They bring it back to Opelika and they say, you know what? My whole family got sick. Something bad happened. And guess what's going to happen? Now you have an interstate situation. Now Alabama has to convene because they have to protect their residents. They have to. There's going to be some kind of border war, politically speaking. So I think that's another way that this can be broken. And I think the lawmakers, when they put this together, they may not have considered that. You know what I mean?
I don't think they did. I really know that. I really know they didn't, because they didn't consider workers at all. Workers were not put in this consideration at all. The only people that were put in this consideration was the companies and the corporations and the schools. Even when they came back the second time with the CDC saying that school teachers are necessary employees. So you know what that means. That means that there's no liability for them whatsoever either. And in fact, you've got many schools teachers that are saying that now I got to find another profession. So workers were never put in this equation. The only thing that was put in this equation was to open up offices, open up businesses, open up schools, and if you pass out, if you get COVID, it's the next man up.
Tyrone, when you were playing high school football, did you ever play the teams over on the other side of the Alabama line?
No, we didn't. We did play Florida, Georgia and Florida. We always had our little war in high school, and they had the same thing in college, Georgia versus Florida. But we rarely went to Alabama.
Okay, the reason I ask is because we take it from not only the workplace, but what about the student athletes? So, Dewey, think about the student athletes that are playing football, and maybe they're playing basketball, whatever it is that they're going to be playing, from the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, whatever. How does this affect the universities moving forward?
Well, like I said, if you come out, whenever you come to Georgia is this is a state bill. This is SB 3. This is Georgia's state bill. It doesn't affect Alabama. It doesn't affect Louisiana. It's just only when you come from wherever you come from to Georgia, and you say I contracted anything in Georgia, you should have saw that sign that says that we are not liable for any of that stuff. So,
pretty interesting.
So it is really sad to believe that it's blanketed that way, but it is. But that's what SB 359 did. It made it difficult for workers. It made it difficult for employees.
It seems remarkably unfair to the neighboring states. It seems remarkably unfair to the workers, the students. I mean, Tyrone, you have kids as well. You have a family. And how would you feel about putting your kids and yourself and your family, the rest of your family, in this situation, living there in Georgia?
Well, my son, actually, I'm in that situation. My son actually is playing football.
He's playing football right now.
Yeah, so the only thing you could do is try to do everything you can as an individual to follow protocols within your house and within the knowledge that you know of, and just try to study as much as possible about how to contract, how to keep yourself from contracting COVID and the coronavirus and everything, and just making sure you follow up with these coaches. I always tell these parents they have more power even on the high school level than they think they have. These high school coaches love to try to debo, as we call it, these parents, and making them think that they have no power. But actually, these parents got a lot of power, but I think some of them are just so caught up with their job and working that they just don't pay attention. But I try to make sure I stay active in what's going on, so at least they know there's an eye watching them. 2 on the roster, and number 1 in your heart, Dewey McClain, on our next upcoming segment. Stay tuned.
Can't beat fun at the old ballpark, friends. High pop fly. That would be a home run in a phone booth. I don't know what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box? Here's the pitch. That might not sound important to some people, but when you're a little kid, especially from humble origin, and they cheat you out of a prize, there's a bouncing ball. Second baseman has a Barbary over to first. It's hard to think in laudatory terms of the product.
I think if there was an occasional box of Cracker Jacks that found no prizes for the little Harry Carey many years ago.
You got that right. And boy, when a box of Cracker Jack to me meant a lot of money. Here's a pitch, bounce foul. That's the most asinine marketing I've ever heard of. 1 ball, 1 strike. These guys say, well, you sing about Cracker Jack. I said that I only sing it because it's in the song. Here's a pitch foul back. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even to this day, some youngsters who buy a box of Cracker Jack don't find a prize in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, here's a pitch foul out of play. Why not talk about commercial products that don't do what they represent to do? They told me when they hired me it was a temporary job. Born and raised in St. Louis, and you can imagine the Cardinals were my favorite team from the day I could remember. And all of a sudden, the miracle of life, I'm broadcasting car games. And I own the town and broadcast them for 25 years, and I thought they're going to give me a gold watch, and they gave me a pink slip. Then I went out to work for Charlie Finley for a year, and that's par for the course. Came to Chicago, and I was with the White Sox 11 years, and now with the Cubs. Never missed a game, never missed a time at bat, never missed a half inning that I was supposed to do. You know, Chicago is such a marvelous city. Hey, we got some Chicago people. You know, you never succeed in this business until you've had the experience of working with a terrible hangover. Not until you've been able to come through with flying colors under those circumstances can you consider yourself a professional. Lord knows, I've had more than my share of hangovers. There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. And it is. Holy cow. This crowd is wild.
Hey everyone, this is Darrell Evans of the 1984 World Champion Detroit Tigers. My favorite show to be on is the Sports Circus with Big Sal.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from the MTV mobile studio here below Mount Rushmore. Yes, Mount Rushmore. Folks, make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our podcast, as well as our partners as well. And one of those is the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming events and upcoming games. csncoyotes.com. That school is right here in Southern Nevada. And a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe. Also, Facebook, Twitter, AmpTV, AAMP.TV, and those in hotels from coast to coast in 650,000 rooms. We are back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole, who got me this wonderful hat that says, "Work that thing." I gotta tell you, man, this is very comfortable. I like it.
Very comfortable. It worked that thing. See, you even had to work that thing just to make that hat feel comfortable. You know what I mean? It's like you had to adjust it here, move it left, move it right. You work that thing until you got to fit just right. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You slept in one bed too hard. The next bed is too soft. You turn your hat to the right. That's too much. To the left, too much. Now you turn it to the front, it's just right. You work that thing, baby. And I got to say this, too. You right there, Mount Rushmore is right behind you. We got to put this particular guest today, we got to put him on Mount Rushmore because he's giving some Mount Rushmore information today. His face got to be up there, baby, on Mount Rushmore. There's a lot of great information. Mr. Dewey McClain.
All right. A big round of applause for Dewey. Georgia House of Representatives spent some time with the NFLPA. Hey, you know what? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience that you have with the NFLPA?
Well, in fact, playing in Atlanta was a great experience because, we went to our first playoff game in 78, and then we had one of the best seasons in 80, and we were one game away from the Super Bowl we knew of, and we had great coaches. I had Marion Campbell, the old Swamp Fox. He was a defensive-minded coach, and he went to Philly and did a good job. And we took Lehman Bennett, who became was the offensive coordinator in the Rams, and so it was a little different than nowadays. I mean, I get a chance to go out and see the players play now, and it's like you all get all that many breaks, where we only got one break. In fact, we brought 120 to camp. And we kept 41. Now with COVID, they only brought 80 to camp, and they're gonna keep 58. I just, it's amazing how the number games go, and then which talks about the census. The census was gonna be over with October the 30th, but then we got a pandemic. Nobody can go visit anybody, so now we've taken it to September the 30th. So all I can tell you is I can't figure numbers. I can't figure how people can come up with ways to say that it's a different time. Tyrone did. I don't know if Tyrone told you or not, but I was the chairman of the board of all former pro football players. So we just got a new CBA, and which was very good for former players. You talk about something that CBA was ratified on Saturday, March 14th. And we all know what happened on Monday, March 16th in the world. So I just think that the owners would have waited a few more days, all the benefits that the former players and the active players got, and future players, I don't think that would have happened. So I know that's a lot, but I want to at least get that out.
Yeah.
So I want to thank all I want to thank all the owners. I want to thank all the former players. I want to thank all the active players, because the former players could not vote, but the active players voted to ratify the new CBA. So thank you.
So Tyrone, let's talk a little bit about the census issue, because I know Dewey had mentioned it in between break. How in the world do we go from October 30 to September 30? I mean, are people going to show up with hazmat suits at your door trying to take account of who's there? How does this work? What do you think, Tyrone?
Well, I know where I stay in my subdivision. You got to get through that guard first. We got a gate. If that guard, if you come to see Tyrone Poole, they got to call me first. And I'm going to say, who is it? That's the census guy. Hey, tell him I'm not here. Oh, he's not here. You got to get him up out of here.
It's the pizza guy.
Well, hey, like I said, I asked the guard guy, who is it? Because they got to call my house first. You just can't come right in. That's a luxury about having a gated community. So once he tell me who it is, if he say it's Sal, turn him away. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Sal. Tyrone said he's not in. If it's Dewey, hey, who is it? Dewey McClain. I turn him away. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. McClain. Tyrone's not at home.
Thanks, pal.
Way to go, Tyrone.
Okay.
Hey, you know I love you guys. You know how to say that. I love you guys.
There you go, Sam.
Ask me a question. They asked me a question, Sam. I had to make a joke, man.
That's
but
okay.
literally, seriously.
I just made a joke. Look how stupid this looks, but it's okay.
I see. You switched on me, man. But see, that's all right. That's all. You gonna come back.
No, it's the pizza guy.
Hey, Sam, but he answered your question. He ain't even letting us in, so he know he ain't what to say.
So hey, the census, they got to come through the guard, guys. So as far as answering your question, Sal, it's gonna be hard for them to come up on my house, or hard for them to get into this community. But again, Dewey can probably explain and elaborate on it more. But like you said,
I cannot elaborate on it, because if I see them at my door, I will ring. If I see them at my door, I am not answering the door. Because no one should be visiting anyone's home at this time. I'm just sorry. I just think that you are doing everything virtual. We're all doing things virtual. And I think it just, this is what we're living in. And you took 30 days away. You should have added 30 days to allow people to do this, because you've already said that we're going to have a vaccine by November 1st. So if you would have took this to November 30th, the vaccine would have been working, I think.
Why couldn't they just take it to the end of the year? I mean, it's 2020, so let's take it to December 31st of 2020. What's the problem?
Sam, I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you. I just think that, because we have to understand, and what we're doing right now, what I'm doing is I've been doing I did a little e-blast yesterday to all my constituents. I've been doing little PSAs, because you have to understand the census has a lot to do with what you get locally. It has a lot to do with what you get for your roads, for your schools, for your community. And you got to realize that, because if you undercount it, your federal funds are undergiven.
Sal, he's the type of guy where, he gonna probably let the people come up and take his census. They're gonna probably ask him, how many ice cream cones or sundaes do you eat? Because he's a real Sunday ice cream type of guy, Dewey. So Sal will probably let him come up and take his census.
all they need
but remember, but see, Dewey, when I was with Tyrone, he would not let me have any ice cream. I had to have everything but ice cream.
Wow.
Sal's a good guy. He's a great guy, Dewey.
Well, I just want you, and I want to appreciate y'all. Let me be on the show with you all today, and at least get a few things out, because there were two things I wanted to make sure I got out, and one was the census, to make sure that everybody get counted, and the other one was to make sure that that you register to vote and you vote on November 3rd. I mean, regardless who you vote for, that doesn't matter. Just vote. I mean, just show You just show your spirit. Show that you count. Black lives do matter, but I think voting matters a little bit more right now because when this is all said and done, I think we've got to make sure that we have people in place that'll plan and keep us all together instead of separating us.
Yeah. Big round of applause for that. Those are the words of the day. You know what, Tyrone? That's the gospel of the day. Keep us all together. You know what I mean?
That's good. All together, man. Love. Keep us all together. Dewey, I want to ask you now, you touched a little bit about the CBA. Now, there could be some retired athlete who probably don't quite know, who probably was up under that rock, don't really know. But could you kind of like simplify in speech what was really covered for those retired athletes in his new CBA?
Wow, Tyrone, there were three things that I started back years ago working on. All 3-year players now vested. That's if you play 3 years from 1920 to 2020, you're vested. You have to realize when I came in 76, it was 4 years. Before 76, it was 5 years. And then in 1993, they made it 3 years. So, and here it is in 2020, in this new CBA, those guys who played 4 years back in 75 and all the way back, and who all played 5 years, now if you played 3 years, you get a pension, which is roughly 700 guys were brought on. That was number one. That was my number one thing that I was very glad to do. There's also a HRA account for guys that are under 65 years old. A one-time $50,000 HRA account. I thought that was something gigantic and humongous because, if you never had an HRA account, you get one. So that was guys who played before 2006. Tyrone, I don't think you got one because you played after 2006, so you got an HRA. And the third biggest thing was the pension increase. The pension increase went from 47%. Was the least amount to 53% for former players. So you just think about that. You just think of 47% increase in pension, which has never been done before, and a 53% increase is off the chain. So when I say off the chain, those were the three biggest things that were accomplished in this CBA. That I can assure you that if the owners would put it off for a week, those things would have never happened.
All right. Hey, listen, Dewey, we're running on time here. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to learn how to follow you, learn how to get your good word, whatever you're putting out there from Georgia House. Tell everybody about it.
www.DeweyMcClain.com. That's real simple. I mean, I'm not, I'm one of those ones that are real simple. www.DEWEYMCCLAIN.com.
All right, that's Dewey McClain. Dewey, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you all for having me. Look forward to inviting me back.
Absolutely. Yes. Tyrone, you take care of that. Tyrone, get us out of here.
You know what? You can follow Dewey at www.DeweyMcClain.com. Well, you know what? For tomorrow, the next show, should I say, you can go to www.the Sports Circus to find out when we're coming back on and who will be our next guest. Until then, we'll see you next time on The Sports Circus. Yeah.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door. store without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at uppercutchops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at uppercutchops.com.